Hi, Matt with Etrailer, and today we're going to be talking about the Pewag Servo RS tire chains on the 2023 Hyundai Santa Cruz with the 245/60 R18 tire size. Now, we have them on our front tires today. That's just kind of what it recommends for the manual, but if your manual says something else, go by that. If you're looking for something that's not going to be really big and bulky, something more lightweight, then I'd recommend these chains since they are smaller and they're still going to have that ability to really bite through snow and ice. And another feature that is really nice about this is their self-tensioning, so as you're driving on the road, you don't have to worry about them loosening up. But let's take a closer look at the chains themselves. These links are going to be constructed from a titanium alloy steel, so that's just going to make them more corrosion resistant, and they're going to be square shaped, so that's going to give them the ability to really bite through that snow and ice. They're relatively pretty small compared to our larger, more bulky chains, so they're going to be Class S compatible, which just means they're going to be really close to the tire and not really interfere with our wheel well. And on top of that, since they are smaller, they're going to provide a smoother ride. And something else to notice, we're going to have a diamond pattern here. And what that's going to help allow you to do is make turning a lot easier. And looking at the wall of our tires, we're going to have these powder coated chains. Those powder coated chains are going to be more ice resistant, so when you do touch them, they're not going to be as cold. This powder coating is also going to help prevent any scratches from building up on your rim. And on the front, we're going to have these two red spots at the bottom and at the top. And these are just going to be where the chain links kind of hook onto each other and secure onto the front of the tire. And those are going to be tightened down by this tensioning system right here. And how you activate that is you just have to turn this to the drive section, and as you drive, it's going to tighten down. And if you need to take it off, you just have to twist it to the opposite direction to open to take them off. Overall, these chains are a really good fit for these tires and vehicle. That self-tensioning feature on it makes things a lot easier, and so you don't really have to worry about things loosening up as you drive. Now, I will say, however, it was a little bit tricky to put on here. We did kind of struggle with trying to hook some points onto each other. You might struggle yourself, so I'd recommend doing it in maybe not a cold environment. Maybe when you get them at first, try to put them on a few times so you kind of know what you're doing before you try to do it in the snow. Now, if you want to see some of the problems we faced and how we resolved them, just stay tuned and we'll show you how. The first thing you're going to do is take your chains out of the container, and it's going to come two to a set. And it's pretty nice that they come in this more sturdy container, so it'll hold up to the test of time. With your chains out, we can kind of check everything over, making sure our links are in good condition, not broken, nothing's tangled. And once that looks fine, you can make sure everything's in the right orientation. So I like to make sure that my loops back here are going to be flush with the tire, so the flat side up and the hook side facing down, so it doesn't damage our tires when they get put on. Next up, I like to make sure that this black powder coated chain is facing towards me and away from our vehicle. And then I like to make sure that our tensioning system is going to be to our left side. Also to note, when putting it on your tires, I'd recommend wearing some gloves so you don't pinch or cut your hands, or if it is cold outside, you have a little bit of protection from that. But to start it off, I'm just going to take our chains, push them over to one side, and we're just going to push it behind our tire, like so. Making sure everything got across. I'm just going to reach around to the other side and pull this through, making sure everything looks pretty neat and where it should be. And I'm just going to make sure the other side looks good too. After that, once I have everything where I want it to be, I'm just going to take our black cord on the back on both ends and wrap around until I get to the top. you want to make sure your hook is facing this way and the end piece is facing the other way. And you're going to want to reach underneath like this. And this can be kind of tricky sometimes, but you might have to angle a bit more. And here we go. And it should click into place like that. And now you can kind of take your chains and pull them forward and let that black cord drop to the back. Once you have it in a good spot where you want it to be, then you can kind of connect this red chain and this red hook together like this. You might have to wiggle it around a bit. And there we have it. And now we can kind of straighten everything up. You might have to adjust some things on the back. Like that. And now you can take this red piece and bring it over to the hook. And it can be very difficult because this is a little bit of a reach. And this is a really tight fit on the tire, but that also makes it a good fit too, so it won't loosen up. You might have to pull each side a bit or rearrange some things on your tire. And after working with it for a bit, we're finally able just to barely get it on there like that. Sometimes you might just have to rearrange things or pull on this tensioning rod just a little bit more, or kind of pull up and back up some to kind of rearrange the chains. After that, what we have to do is flip this switch on the tensioner, and it'll automatically tension to this much. You can kind of pull on some parts here, just kind of make sure the tension's all the way. And if you're worried about it not being on there all the way, just kind of back up some, pull up some, and it'll tighten the rest of the way down. Once you have that done, you can do the same thing on the other side. And after, when you've installed the other side, you can take it for a drive. That will complete the install and a look at some of the features for the Pewag Servo tire chains on the 2023 Hyundai Santa Cruz with 245/60 R18 tire size.